Welcome everyone to episode 114 of 1 Hour, 1 Decision, 1H1D. I'm Chris.
And I'm Tom.
And this time we have someone with us, and that is Josh, Joshua Cast, a streamer and a podcast extraordinaire, with us to talk about a random, but not really random this time, because we had a Twitter poll that gave us what we were talking about today. And that is Wo Long. Talk about Wo Long. So Josh, welcome. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and that was a totally different intro, but that's okay. We're gonna go with it. But anyway, we're gonna be talking about Wo Long by Koei Tecmo Games / Team Ninja.
Hoo-yah.
Yeah. And this game came out back not too far along.
It came out fairly recent. Yeah.
Fairly recent. March of 2023. And I played this on the PC, and it was 40.05 gigabytes on the PC. Tom, what about you?
Good news, Xbox players. You can save yourself 5 gigs. 34.8 gigabytes on the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Are you playing on the Xbox One or Xbox Series X?
Xbox One.
Okay,
I meant what I said.
Because mine was 44 gigabytes on the Xbox Series X.
Well, there we go. Now we've got all kinds of numbers here.
That's why I'd ask.
That's interesting. The variations on these things. But what kind of game is this? I'll start with Josh this time.
Okay. So when I seen Wo Long Fallen Dynasty, I thought it was just going to be kind of like a Ghost of Tsushima type of game where you're fighting with swords. But I was completely wrong. It is more like a Dark Souls game than anything else. And I'm loving it because, I just started in the intro. I think I'm in the prologue or whatever. And I haven't gotten past it yet. And I've been doing it for 2 hours. But the prologue is a nice little introduction that makes you learn the combat. And if you don't learn it, you ain't going to get past it. And it teaches you customization.
Tom?
Third-person action RPG.
I put also a third-person action RPG / Souls-like / Ninja Gaiden-like.
Ooh, yeah.
Ninja Gaiden is a good comparison.
So
especially the newer ones like Sigma and that sort of stuff.
Right. And what about that game loop? What is this game loop for this game?
Who would you like to start, Chris? Who was that directed at?
Let's start with you, Tom.
Use a variety of weapons to hack and slash the enemy forces and collect loot.
Josh?
I'm trying to think of like a different way to say it, but pretty much it's just a hack and slash with a lot of customized gear. That's really about it for me.
I wrote, beat the snot out of enemies while progressing the story. So, keep it simple, folks. That's all you got to do. Speaking of keeping it simple, let's talk about the things that we liked about this game. I'm going to start, though, this time. I'm going to say I like this particular time period and the Chinese culture stuff that they talk about. Like the whole like Chinese mythology is like really cool, and I'm kind of glad that they were going into this. And the game does have all the tutorials, but this is a game that needs the tutorials, I think, because it's pretty challenging. It's pretty challenging. What are some things that you guys liked about this game?
Tom, do you want to go first? Because I have a long one.
Sure. I want to say that I agree with you, Chris. I love that the controls are explained while you play at a very good pace. This is much better implemented than the last game we did. I think it was cool that the character customization was really detailed, but you didn't have to do it right there. Like, that's the kiss of death for me, is getting stuck in the character customization. The game was like, no, don't worry, you can change this later. And I was like, oh, thank goodness. I could move through this. Quickly, I want to say before handing it off to Josh is I loved that intro cinematic. It was fast. It was cool. I love when things do a first person perspective, like show you through the eyes of the character. And this game does that, and in this intro cinematic, and I was like, yes, please.
I will say watching a movie that's all in first person is very nauseating. Hardcore Henry almost made me want to throw up.
Really interesting.
Yeah. But
I can see that though. It's the blur.
yeah.
But to piggyback off of Tom a little bit, I was really surprised at how in depth the character customization was, because I thought it was just gonna be like simple pick a character, but you could change like hair color, different gradients of the hair color, facial structure, age, body, scarring, and all that stuff. I wasn't expecting that. Two would have to be the combat, because, like I said, I went into it thinking it was just gonna be like a Ghost of Tsushima game, hack and slash, whatever. But they really beat the combat into you, and I love how you had to be very precise with your attack and defending for you to progress. And second, I don't know if there's a lot of games that do this, but the fact that your gear actually plays onto your gameplay, like let's say if you have certain gear that's heavier, you'll get slower, but you have more attack, or you can defend more. I just love how it actually customizes your gameplay experience.
Yeah, I mean, from the little Souls games that I've played, I do know, like, especially with the armor, right? Like, the heavier the armor is, the slower you move and stuff like that. So that's true. And I totally forgot about that. I also love the fact there is a parry system in this game, the deflect / parry system. I don't know what it is about those, like a well implemented parry system feels so good. And in this game, I guess there's two ways you can, like, well, there's multiple ways, but like when you're doing they don't call it parry, they call it deflect, right? They call it deflect, and you can deflect normal attacks and guard. Yeah, guard.
Yeah, guard.
Which I didn't even realize that there was a guard. I totally forgot about that. So I was just pressing the parry or the deflect button the entire time. And when there's like a super move or an attack that a character is going to do, that they charge up red and stuff like that, if you deflect that, you can like do almost like a riposte and like do like a pretty sick, and so there's like a sick animation that happens after that, which it was very satisfying to see. And I also thought that the loading screens, which you see a lot of because this game is pretty hard, they had some pretty useful tips in there. And I appreciated that. I appreciated that it wasn't necessarily like the load screens weren't super fast, because then you get an opportunity to go through these tips. Like, I think, Tom, we talked about this before on a previous episode, where yes, as our technology is getting better, we're getting rid of those load screens and like stuff where you can kind of take a breather. So that was cool. And the other thing that made me feel a little bit better about this game is you have a buddy. You're little blind. You're blind boy.
What's his name? Blindfold Boy.
I thought it was Blindfold, or was it Blind Boy? I forget.
I think it's called like Blindfold Boy, and I was like, that's the silliest name.
Yeah. And like, he was actually pretty useful at times.
Wait, he was useful for you?
I mean, like when I was attacking people, like he would or at least when my health was pretty low, he would go in there and like be more aggressive.
Okay.
So I thought that was interesting. Like, he was like, oh, let me deal with them. You like stay back and do your thing to try to heal up. So at least that's my experience was. I was like, okay, cool, man, thanks. So that was good.
I think he probably did the same thing for me, but for some reason I was getting irritated. I'm like, help out, pitch in more, because it's like he was like back in the side, just eating popcorn, watching me get beat up the whole time. I'm like, come on, do something, toss an attack, and there's something.
Right. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to bring up about likes here?
Actually, you mentioned something about the loading screen, which I was shocked about. You know how it like showed like helpful tips, whatever. You can actually cycle the helpful tip. Like, let's say if you missed it beforehand, you can actually keep cycling through all of them, and it's a really nice little touch, because most times we bypass it, but this one you actually want to read it.
Yeah.
So I will say I like that one too.
The other thing, I don't know if you guys picked up on this, there was multiple audio tracks for the game. So it wasn't just like English and Japanese, but there was Chinese too. So I actually had the Chinese with the English. So it's like, kind of to keep with the theme of the game. And again, great. They had great voice acting for that as well. So it was cool to do that. And yeah, so should we talk about dislikes, Tom?
Sure. I hate when I start up a game and it's trying to sell me a season pass and the game came out yesterday. Like, nope. No, I'm not interested in your season pass. I haven't even started the game yet. I haven't hit start on the game. No. It gets me so upset. DLC comes later after at least I'm some way into the game and have decided whether or not I like it.
So you think that they should hide it before you actually beat the game?
Well, I don't think they even need to hide it before you beat the game, but it shouldn't come up on my initial start of the game. At least let me start the game up one time without trying to sell me something. Especially imagine that if I had bought this, if I had taken $60 and paid for this, and they were like, "Nah, your $60 isn't good enough." Like that's how it feels.
That's a fair point. That's actually a good way to think about that. Yeah, because it's like, yeah, you didn't pay enough for this game, so let's just plaster you with advertisements to buy more.
Like, get me through the prologue or something. I don't know. Like I should have like a free trial, like a couple of hours before they start trying to sell me stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Drives me crazy.
What any dislikes there for you, Josh?
So, because I'm so early in the game, I can't really say anything about that. But it's funny that Tom mentioned that because I must have skipped through that section because I don't think I got that pop up at all. So the fact that now I know that there's DLC is kind of funny for me. But I do agree with Tom that if they were going to promote DLC, it should be like after you beat the game as like a continuation, like Easter egg, instead of just like boom, there, buy another one.
Yeah, Pokemon does it pretty well now, where like the game launches. You play the game. I've played the game for a long time, Scarlet, and now they've announced DLC. Now with this, they've updated the game, and now in the game there's a little icon that says "Buy the DLC." And, that's fine. That doesn't bother me because it's like I've played the game for a while already. Like that's okay.
So if we were to have played this game a year down the line, and you saw that the DLC was there,
it would bother me less. I mean, it makes me almost rabid that it just came out. And it's
like 6 days ago.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Any dislikes for you, Josh?
Besides personal grudges against the first boss, not really, because like so far I like the combat just because of how in depth it is. I think I'm just too early on the game to really pick out negative so far.
Okay. And you said you put about 2 hours into the game?
I put 2 hours into it, but 1.5 of those hours was on the boss.
Okay. For me, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it like I made sure I tried to crank up all the graphic settings on this game, but it felt like the visuals were like dated or something. There was something weird about them on my PC that they just like I don't know if it was like a washed out look in it or something. Like, I mean, most of these dark fantasy games have that like sheen of crap on them that just whatever that they just try to make it look as drudgy or whatever as possible. But like this one just seems felt old in that way. I don't know if you guys saw that when you're in your playthroughs, but
I definitely have seen it, but I just associated with like the art style and engine because like if you played like Neo, what was it Beyond? Is it something Shakira Two Souls or whatever? Like they all have like the same look and feel. So I just associated that with just the art style they were going with. But maybe I'm just not tuned enough with the graphics to get that.
I don't know because like I was just playing because like I've played Elden Ring and I've watched a couple people play Sekiro, and I thought that those looked better than this. There was just like an overall polish was just like a little bit better. I don't know. I'm just nitpicking here, but yeah. Tom,
I've got
I can see that.
nits to pick. I've got things. I've got a list. I've got a laundry list of things I didn't like. You want me to start
Yeah, keep
laying it
going.
out?
Lay it out.
Okay, so too much character customization, right? Like it's in my pros, but it's also in my cons. That's my kryptonite. That's personal, but also personal. I hate. I'm using the word hate. Hate's a strong word, but I think it applies here. Like the soul style games, I don't like them at all. I don't like the XP loss. I don't like being beat up by somebody and then I have to go beat up that same somebody again. It's like he beat me already. Like that's how I lost the XP there. Like, how do you think this is gonna go? Like I'm not. It's not like he got the drop. Like it's okay if I got like surprise attacked by somebody
Right.
and then like, oh okay, well, now I could get the drop on that guy. But if it's a boss monster, like I'm gonna die to that thing a couple of times. So like buy XP, I guess it's just gone now.
Well, no, the boss XP doesn't disappear. Like if you did lose to like a normal enemy, then yeah, it'll go away if you lose to them again. Which I think is an interesting, because I don't know if the Souls games do this. It's almost like a knockoff Nemesis system. Like I don't know if you like Shadow of Mordor or that, where they like this one character has like they actually like buff their powers if you lose to them. And in this game you do the same thing where they I think they're like their fortitude goes up. Yeah. So it's in the same way like that happens, and if you beat them you gain your XP back like you said. Okay. And it's yeah, like I know this game is, I feel like, a little bit more forgiving than like Dark Souls games in terms of the combat, but because like if Dark Souls had a parry system, I don't think I'd have as much of a problem.
Right.
And I know they have it somewhat, but it's like you have to play a particular style or weapon or something like that. Whereas this, I think you can parry with every weapon.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I like that. And but yeah, here we're talking about dislikes here though. And
yeah.
The game is tough. I mean the game is tough though overall. I mean, like as you guys have said, like getting to that boss, and then that boss like kicks the crap out of you. I didn't finish that I didn't beat that boss in that hour. And it was like it was frustrating for sure.
There's a dislike. I walked around in circles for an hour. Like my whole hour was just me going around in circles. I was like, oh, I could just not fight this guy. That sounds great. And then like I went and did other stuff, and I guess had to go back and fight that guy. I don't know.
Yeah. One of the things I want to add to Tom's thing, because I played Dark Souls games like Neo and all that stuff, and I'm so used to where if you don't save, you lose your progress, which this game has. If you don't save, you're going to lose that 42 progress you got. But the one thing, as Tom was saying about the boss fight, you play and you beat him, and the next thing you know, he baits you after you beat him the first time. You're like, oh, I got this. I won. And the next thing you know, you get a second version of him.
Yeah.
And then if you die to him, you realize that there's no checkpoint at all. You got to go right back to the beginning and do all that all over again. Like, it's infuriating, but for me, because I like that challenge, that's why I love it. But I can see people that don't like Dark Souls games, that could be an immediate turn off.
I mean, like, it's very early how quickly they tell you, like, you got to get good. You got to get good. And it's I don't know. It's just so weird that this game, like, if maybe it's because I don't like From Software games. I don't know. I have like such a those games gets me like I probably would have uninstalled the game immediately if that happened to me. But I don't know what it is. Like here, I kept trying to beat that guy, and I think I'm going back to my likes here. I think the other thing I appreciate about this game is how short the levels feel. Because like getting to the boss, like it didn't seem like it was very long. Like, I mean, Tom, you said you were walking around in the level, but you could have gotten right to that guy. It was pretty quick to get to that first boss, I would say.
Well, I guess so.
Did you guys explore at all in the game? Because the game isn't linear. You can actually go to parts you're not supposed to, and versus people that are like renowned or 4220, right away, and you just get immediately bodied by them.
Oh wow, I didn't 4220. I remember fighting like the tiger.
Is
The
he like
Tiger Man
16?
thing.
Yeah. If you get
Yeah.
past him, they go even higher than that.
Oh wow, I don't think I.
He's
Yeah,
like the
maybe I
first
did.
checkpoint of like, if you really want to test your skill, you get past him. There's going to be
Yeah.
another guy twice as big as him.
Yeah, so I don't know. That was I did beat the tiger guy, which I was happy about. And then I got stomped repeatedly by Boss Man.
So I have to ask this question just because I'm on it and I'm still on it. Chris, you said you actually beat the boss, both encounters, right?
Yes.
How long
I
did it
did.
take you?
Well, we passed the hour. so, but it was good. It was good, and it did take me a while. But we'll talk about this at the other thoughts here. Are we all
Okay.
good with the dislikes here?
Only other thing I wanted to mention is that there are tons of doors everywhere and none of them open. And it drives me crazy to walk like, a door. Yes. Oh, no, this is just a fake door.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed.
that is a big bait, especially when you're in the village and some of them look like they're destructible, and you're like, "What is this? It's not destructible. Get out of here!"
Right. Exactly. All right. Cool. So I will say that for other thoughts here, guys, the this game definitely requires precise timing for a lot of things, and the it's just a crazy game. But somehow they have this game on Xbox Cloud, and you can play this with touch controls.
I don't know why you would.
I don't know why you would, but it's that's pretty impressive that they did it. That they enabled touch controls for this game. But my God, there'd be so many screens that are destroyed because of this.
For the people that like a real challenge, they play on touchscreen.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. So our TCF factor for this has been 4 out of 5. You can play it on the toilet, but why would you?
I think I've seen people actually play it on their Switch too with the cloud stuff, and surprisingly, it runs kind of well on that as well.
Huh.
I
Interesting.
was shocked because I thought it'd blow up.
And this game does have Xbox Cloud saves, and it does have Play Anywhere, which I keep forgetting what the actual definition is. Play Anywhere means that if you bought it on one system, whether it's PC or Xbox, you get to play it on the other system. So that's to clarify that.
I always thought that was like a nice little thing certain developers do, because like, who wants to pay like double the price just to play again on another system? It sucks.
Absolutely. Tom, any other thoughts here?
I definitely felt like I was missing some key instructions while I was playing. I definitely felt like it wasn't clear to me what I needed to be doing at any given point in time. And that only added to my frustration.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very fair point. They don't tell you until after you die at least twice what you need to do.
Josh, you have any other thoughts here about the game before we get to our final decision?
I can't really say it's about the game, but I definitely know seeing the intro cutscene makes me want another Rise Son of Rome 2. Like, I felt like I was watching that with the grittiness and the bloodiness of it.
Okay, yeah. There's been a bunch of people on the Twitterverse that have been clamoring for a Rise, but who knows when that ever.
Because the combat kind of felt similar in a way. Obviously not as depth, but like, with the hack and slash and blocking, you can kind of see comparisons there.
Definitely. So, guys, we have to make our final decision here. Are we going to be playing this game past the hour, or throwing it into the fire of some mythical Chinese character? I don't know.
But before we get to that, we wanted to let you know about our spectacular sponsor, Winner Winner. Winner Winner is a live arcade claw machine game available on Android and iOS, and it's 100% skill-based. Trust me, if you see me play my games, you know I'm not that great, and I still have won games on my first try. There's hundreds of prizes, even featuring gaming merch from Nintendo. Pick your prize from choices in your particular game, or bank your earnings with tickets to redeem any other prize you want from their wide selection. And for all you lovely people listening or watching our show, you can get bonus tokens on your first app token purchase. Download and create your account, then use the link in the episode's description to enter promo code
What it do?
after you sign in. Check it out. It's clawsome.
Well, Chris, since you so eloquently teed that up for me, going around in circles, killing the same dudes got very old for me very quickly. If I didn't have to play this game for an hour, I would have quit after 30 minutes. So no, I will never play this game again.
Wow.
That's a totally fair point. Because if I'm gonna keep playing it because I'm that stubborn person where if I get defeated, I have to keep going until I beat it and be successful, and that's why I will probably finish the game.
Well, if you've been paying attention to this episode, yes, I kept playing this game way past the hour. I actually blew way past my hour, and I'm definitely going to keep playing this game, and I have been playing this game for some time now. And I will say, this, just so you know, this part is just the tutorial. The game didn't even start yet.
Yeah, good. I'm glad I didn't get out of the tutorial. Screw this game.
This is just the tutorial. And like it was crazy. But and the other thing I will say, this is past the hour and past getting through that first boss. There is co-op in this game. But you have to get past this boss to get to
no
the
thanks.
co-op.
No desire to play this ever again.
But you said, so is it like Elden Ring co-op where it's like PvP, or can you actually do co-op where you're doing the story missions with other people?
I believe it is. It seems similar to Elden Ring because there's also like you get 2 items to call people and 1 to like disconnect the session. So I think it is similar in that way.
Okay.
And but yeah, it works fairly well. There was some network issues that I had every once in a while, but yeah, it worked and it helped me beat a couple of guys. You can have up to 3 like characters in total. Like that means it could be a player character or an NPC. So kind of neat. And you can recruit them too. You actually, there's like a whole system with the recruitment and stuff like that as well. As you keep going through the game.
That makes me want to play it even more.
Yeah, and I'm saying, and again, like I feel like the levels are short enough to get you to where you have to get to. Like when I say that, like getting to the boss, they're short enough that they like I can play this for an hour. Once you get good enough to play it, like, or you're a bit of a masochist or whatever.
So I have to ask this question, since I know obviously Tom doesn't like From Software games or any of that stuff, but earlier it sounded like you didn't like them either. What makes you like Wulong more than the other ones?
That's the thing I'm trying to figure out, and I think the only reason why is the parry system. I think that's the saving grace for this game, is like it makes me feel like a badass being able to like deflect something and then hit them right in the face with some.
Yeah, that deflect system is weird. Like it, the way they do it, it makes it flashy and smooth, but it doesn't feel like a QuickTime event.
Right, exactly. So good on them. But those are our thoughts. Let us know what you think of this game. Follow us and say hello on Twitter at TC1H1D, or shoot us an email at TC1H1D@outlook.com. Check out our next streams on Twitch at twitch.tv/1H1D. And if you're watching this on YouTube, send us a comment down below or something, and we'll try to respond every once in a while. It happens. And as you may all know, 1H1D is part of that QTV network. And if you like gaming podcasts and really cool gaming content, check out the rest of the lineup there at Quit the Build on quitthebuild.com/network. So before we let you go, Josh, we do have to find out what we're playing next, and then we'll let you kind of plug your things here. So Tom, let's see what the surprise button has for us in store for next time. Here we go. Oh, okay. It's called Unsold.
You sound unsold.
Well, I mean, maybe we'll see how this is. But before we go, Josh, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. It's been fun to have you on. Where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Twitch at JoshuaCast, or you can check out me and my pal, The Real Shiesty, and the Out of Mana podcast on all podcast platforms.
Awesome. Again, thanks so much for having for coming on the show and going through this madness with us.
I appreciate you guys having me because, playing this game has been a pleasure, and I'm glad I got to hear you guys' opinion on it.
Yeah. So that is it for this episode. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.
Thanks, everybody.